Right now, the Mac has never been better. We have a Mac lamp that includes a fanless but immensely powerful MacBook Air, an iMac that's only 11.5 millimeters thin, a MacBook Pro that's insanely powerful with top-tier displays, and the Mac Studio, a computer that really shows what Apple Silicon's capable of. But it wasn't always like this, especially not 5 years ago. First, let's look back at Apple's Mac lineup in early 2017. We had the Mac Mini, which featured outdated specs and no upgradable RAM that the 2012 model had, and removed the quad-core CPUs that the 2012 model had. The MacBook Air featured a 7-year-old design with a terrible display and outdated specs. The 12-inch MacBook was slow, featured outdated specs, and had overheating issues, and featured the infamous butterfly keyboard, and only featured one USB-C port. The MacBook Pros also featured outdated CPUs, even though they were the latest in the line at the time. They featured the infamous butterfly keyboard, limited I/O, the touch bar, which not a lot of people liked, and thermal issues. The iMac wasn't upgraded for 1.5 years, and featured a 5-year-old design. And of course, the Mac Pro, which wasn't upgraded for 4 years at this point in time, featured limited upgradability and thermal issues. Apple hadn't upgraded most of these Macs in a while, and most of them had thermal issues, and all of them had their own set of issues. But Apple had something to say about the Mac lineup in April of 2017. On April 4th, 2017, Apple had a meeting discussing the Mac lineup, and this was probably one of the most impactful days for the Mac. This was one of the first times Apple admitted one of their products was bad. Phil Schiller had this to say on the April 4th meeting. The current Mac Pro, as we said a few times, was constrained thermally and it restricted our ability to upgrade it. And for that, we're sorry to disappoint customers who wanted that. And we've asked the team to go and re-architect and design something great for the future that those Mac Pro customers who want more expandability, more upgradability in the future, it'll meet more of those needs. Craig Federighi said this at the April 4th meeting as well. I think we designed ourselves in a bit of a thermal corner, if you will. We designed a system with the kind of GPUs that at the time we thought we needed and that we thought we could well serve with a 2 GPU architecture. That was the thermal limit we needed, or the thermal capacity we needed, but workloads didn't materialize to fit that as broadly as we hoped. And at this April 4th meeting, Apple confirmed some future plans for the Mac. Most importantly, the development of a new, more modular Mac Pro and Pro display. Phil Schiller had this to say. With regards to the Mac Pro, we are in the process of what we call completely rethinking the Mac Pro. We are working on it. We have a team working hard on it right now, and we want to architect it so that we can keep it fresh with the regular improvements, and we're committed to making it our highest end, high throughput desktop system designed for our demanding Pro customers. As part of doing a new Mac Pro, it is, by definition, a modular system. We will be doing a Pro display as well. Now, you won't see any of those products this year. We're in the process of that. We think it's really important to create something great for our Pro customers who want a Mac Pro modular system. And that'll take longer than this year to do. Not only that, but Apple confirmed that an update to the iMac line was coming in 2017 as well, and even confirmed that a Pro iMac was coming as well. Craig Federighi said, but there's still even further we can take iMac as a high-performance Pro system, and we think that form factor can address even more of the Pro market. So this was the first time Apple openly admitted the Mac lineup, specifically the high end of the Mac lineup, was in dire need of upgrades. And in June of 2017, at WWDC 2017, Apple finally came in hard with upgrades to the Mac lineup. We got spec upgrades to the entire Mac notebook lineup, spec upgrades to the iMac, and a preview of the iMac Pro, an all-in-one workstation computer. Now, that Mac Pro was supposed to be a 2018 product, But on April 5th, 2018, almost a full year after the April 4th meeting, Apple's Tom Boger said, "We want to be transparent and communicate openly with our Pro community, so we want them to know that the Mac Pro is a 2019 product. It's not something for this year." And on June 3rd, 2019, at Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference 2019, Apple previewed the new Mac Pro, featuring a modular design. This is the first time Apple had PCIe expansion on the Mac since 2012, and almost every component on the new Mac Pro was upgradable. A huge step up from the 2013 Mac Pro, which was finally discontinued on December 10th, 2019, after 2,182 days of being on sale. But this was only the beginning of what was to come for the Mac. On June 22nd, 2020, at Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference 2020, Apple announced that they would transition the Mac from Intel to Apple Silicon. And on November 10th, 2020, Apple announced the M1, the first chip built for the Mac, and put it in a new MacBook Air, Mac Mini, and 13-inch MacBook Pro. And the reception of these new Macs has been the best in a long time. M1 completely redefined the Mac, and it was just the beginning. Right now, we have the MacBook Pros with M1 Pro and M1 Max with incredible performance, incredible displays, and incredible battery. And the Mac Studio, the most powerful Mac ever in a tiny little box. Right now, we're on the cusp of a new Mac Pro with Apple Silicon and new MacBook Air. And I think it's officially time to say, the Mac is back.